Should agents hold open houses? I'm asked this question pretty commonly nowadays. So there are a couple things to consider. One is, if the property's hot, obviously you're going to want to host an open house because there'll be lots of traffic. You can meet a buyer and get a purchase transaction out of it. Maybe you'll meet a neighbor and eventually get a listing down the road. High traffic open houses are great opportunities to prospect. Also, if you have a seller that wants you to do an open house, well, that's kind of settled. You have to meet their requests. They're your client. Now, sometimes we have sellers that don't really care or don't ask for an open house, and agents will see that as an opportunity to not have to host an open house that might not be very busy, may not have a lot of traffic. So I've seen this come back and cause problems down the road for agents, because let's say that property is priced a little high. Let's say there's not a lot of traffic at that listing. Well, that's when a seller starts getting suspicious. Is my agent doing everything they can? And one of the first things that sellers think about in terms of efforts put forth by agents is the open house. Has my agent done open houses for me? And sellers like to think of properties being marketed and how well they're being marketed before they really start going introspective and thinking, is my home showing well? Is it in good condition? Is it clean? Is it priced properly? The most important thing. And so what you don't want is a seller to turn on you down the road and say, hey, you haven't been holding open houses. What's going on? We're not getting traffic. We're not getting calls. Why didn't you hold open houses? You want to show that you put forth every effort possible. So while it may feel like your day is wasted by holding an open house if you're getting little to no traffic, think of it as an investment that you're doing a presentation to your seller. You're showing the seller that there's no stone left unturned by your marketing efforts. And try to make some sort of time efficient usage out of being at the open house. Maybe bring some work with you, bring a book to read, catch up on something you need to do when you're at an open house that has low traffic. But what you don't want is to get in a position where you avoid that boring open house with low traffic and then have the seller suspect you of not doing everything you can to market the property. So for that reason, I recommend always doing an open house unless the seller explicitly tells you not to.